What's up, guys? Welcome back to HiiK Gaming, or HiiK Podcast, whatever the fuck you want to call it. If you've noticed, we got ourselves a new logo, a new cover banner. How about that?
Literally thought for a second you said cover band, and I was like, oh, we're starting that Slipknot cover band finally.
Finally, yeah.
It's finally happening.
Been in the works for so long.
So yeah, episode 3, Hell If I Know podcast.
Welcome.
We're not going to talk about how Germany managed to find the lifeboats yesterday, or 2 days ago, and managed to pull out a win against Sweden.
Well done, those boys.
Well done, those boys. But they're not good as everybody's second favorite football club, Palmer's FC.
Palmer's FC. Shout
Feel
out.
you, boys. Feel you, boys. All right, so
Enough about football.
enough about football. We're not about sports. We're lazy. We play video games.
Play video games. Gaming updates. Fucking Pokemon Go.
This is
Trade now.
This is the best update in the history of this game, hands down. It's
been teased since the very beginning of the release, for the very first fucking ad.
Outside of the PC, it is what has been separating this game from every other Pokemon game, which you couldn't trade Pokemon. Yep. Like, because you could battle gyms, you could, you know what I mean? You could do all that shit. You just could not trade, which is a huge deal because if you have friends across the world or your friends elsewhere, it's going to be one of the only ways, if you don't have a fuck ton of money to put into airline tickets, a way for you to get exotic Pokemon.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty much. So, trading was announced.
Also, friends. You can have friends in a video game? What?
You can have
What?
friends in a video
It's
game.
good that they're going to let us lie to ourselves like that. It's really good. I think they're enabling us, but it's good.
This is still the internet. We don't have real friends.
We don't have real friends.
But yeah, friendship. It's got some perks. You know, you become good enough friends with people. You can bump up how much damage you do with gym battles and raids with friends, of course. And you know, the higher your friendship level, the more you can trade.
Mac and I both sent gifts to each other this morning at work.
But yes, we did. There are and 7K eggs, 7-kilometer eggs were also put into the game. They're Alolan forms. They're the only way to get certain Pokemon. I think it was Geodude, Meowth, Vulpix, and Sandshrew were the 7K eggs. Were the only way to get those Alolan forms, anyways.
I've caught Meowth in the wild.
Was it an Alolan Meowth or just a regular Meowth?
No, it's just a regular Meowth. My bad.
Yeah. Alolan Meowth, you can only get 2 eggs.
Can we talk about the Alolan Rattata really quick?
That's a
Rattata.
fat one.
It's
Raticate's
such
fat as fuck.
Raticate is so dumb looking. Like, it looks like Winnie the Pooh's. Yeah, I mean, he looked like a crackhead before. Now he just looks like a stoner. I mean, that's really what's changed. I mean, he's just fat and lazy now instead of wired out of his skull. Like, he had the crack nails before, you know what I mean? Like, and crack nails is a real thing, just so we're clear. Crack nails is a real thing.
Those fuckers can get into anything, man. Same with meth heads.
Same with
Shout
meth
out to all the meth heads.
Shout out to all the meth heads out there. We feel you, boys. We feel you.
The struggle is real.
Another big update, which isn't really a big update because it didn't really tell us anything else, but it rolls into something that told us a lot else, was something you brought up, Mac, that we both saw today, which was the new Fallout 76 gameplay trailer, which is really just the old gameplay trailer with new voiceover over top of it. It showed a longer clip of the Reclamation Day walkout, like you walking out of the vault and stuff like that.
It did.
It extended that sequence, which was cool to me because it's kind of cool that this is one of the first control vaults we've come across. Like Vault 101 in Fallout 3 was super intelligent people. Vault 111 was obviously cryostasis. The Gary Vault was that New Vegas or 3? I think it was. Was that 3?
I think it was 3.
I think it was 3. We could be wrong. If it's not, it's New Vegas. Good, bases covered. But
I'll fact check this real quick.
But the Gary Vault was hilarious, and in the No Clip documentary, which I'm going to link to both. I'm going to link to the second part of the No Clip documentary in the comments below, because I think everyone, if you're a Bethesda fan, should watch those 2 documentaries. They're very, very interesting and very informative. As
yes. Gary's from Fallout 3. He's from Vault 108.
108. That was the funniest shit ever. Was that they all just go Gary. They say Gary 50 different ways, but it's genuinely the scariest vault you'll ever explore in your life, but also the funniest. Um, I liked. I definitely like though that I like the direction they've taken this in, and I like the lore and all that stuff. Like we said before, a lot of this is just going to be more of the same fanboying we had in the first episode. But I definitely think that 76 is going to be probably one of the. I don't know if I dare say that. I think it's going to be one of the best Fallout games we've seen. I really do.
Don't say that.
I really do.
Don't say that. You're breaking my heart. Don't say that.
You're breaking my heart.
That we found some more stuff. Legendary weapons are gonna
Legendary
return
weapons.
from Fallout 4.
There's also apparently a lot of this game was like the basis behind it was built during the Fallout 4 building. Like Todd Howard in the No Clip documentary, which again I'm going to link to in the below, which was part 2 of a documentary. Part 1 was the history of Bethesda leading up to the area immediately after Fallout 4. And then the second part of the documentary covered the development of 76 and how it's affected their now 3 offices, one in Montreal, one in Austin, and one in Bethesda, Maryland. How it affected that. And what it showed was that, like, the first thing Todd said when they asked him the question was, how did 76 come about? He goes, it was the multiplayer for Fallout 4. Did nobody else bring that up to you? And they were like, no. And he goes, oh, well, it was the multiplayer for Fallout 4. We just never released it. So Fallout 4 originally had a multiplayer element that they just were like, it's too big. We have to make it its own game. And not only were they like, oh, well, that's too big in Fallout 4, they decided to make it 4 times the size in Fallout 76. Like, it's the whole state of West Virginia. I didn't even realize that till today when I was watching that. This isn't like a region of West Virginia. It's the whole state of West Virginia.
It's the entire state.
It's the entire state of West Virginia. We're closely approaching games being just countrywide, which will be an amazing day. And I'm going to, like, jizz my pants, but...
GTA 6.
GTA 6. You heard it here first, folks.
Confirmed here. Live. We also got info on the new building system. It's gonna be called the camp system.
Apparently. Yeah.
You can't create a base anywhere you want. There's some no build zones, i.e., right next to fucking vaults.
No, right next to the vault. Right next to Vault 76. Right next to new player spawn. You can't camp because they don't want to have griefing, which is fair. I respect that. If you transfer to a new server. If that space is unoccupied when you transfer, it will build right there. If it's occupied by another settlement, it will pack it into crates that are carryable in your inventory with blueprints, and you can just rebuild it wherever you want to. But it's not fair to the new server, to the people who've already been on the server, to move them because of you. So you'll have to rebuild it, which is not the biggest thing in the world. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I think that's completely fair.
Yeah, also to go with it, they said that the buildings that you make and everything else, they'd be very easily repairable. Just in that off chance that you do run into somebody out there in that entire state of West Virginia that just decides to fuck your shit in, or they fire a nuke, because nuke's in the game.
They said a big thing they said they wanted to avoid. I don't want to spoil too much of the documentary because it's a really good documentary, but I think a major point they pointed on, which is something I was worried about, was the idea of chores.
And after the camp system, we saw from the same gameplay footage, we saw new weapons, obviously, are going to be involved.
I have a question for you, Mac, as a fellow Fallout freak.
Okay, go.
What is your opinion of the pipe weapons from Fallout 4?
I like the pipe weapons.
I like them too.
Really, really good.
I was talking to somebody, and I don't remember who. It might have been in this server. It might have been somewhere else, where they said that they thought they were really stupid and unrealistic. And I was like, it's probably the most realistic thing. Because the guns of the past would not... There's not going to be enough to just supply everybody like an army. Like, you're going to have to make adjustments. And I loved how customizable and crazy looking they were. Like, it's 2x4s bound around a metal pipe that has a, like, wrench hammer attached to it. I think that's more of the Fallout aesthetic than any normal gun could ever be.
And literally just a rusted piece of metal on there for a
bandit. Outside of, like, like that twisted piece of metal or...
Yeah.
I thought they were amazing. I love them to death. I love the pipe revolver rifle. That 45 caliber is great. You can hunt Yao Guai with it. You can hunt. Well, you can't really hunt Deathclaws with it. You can really only hunt Deathclaws with a fat man. Let's be honest.
I mean, you can absolutely hunt Deathclaws with it. Doesn't mean you're going to win that fight.
You better get one hell of a critical strike when you open fire. You better get one hell of a critical strike.
Yep. But to go with the pipe weapons, there's been a few not really confirmed weapons, and I don't know if they'll actually go by the real names. But in the gameplay trailer, the dude that was approaching P. Garvey's camp. He was the very first gun he was using was it looked like an MG42,
It definitely did. That was definitely an
and
MG42.
I was nutting myself over that. I'm like, holy.
That is a badass weapon to let us loose with in the wilds. Like, that is nuts. That they're gonna let us play with that.
And after that,
Friggin'. Moving on, because we can't. Do you have something else you want to add to that? It's all good.
what's the name of the next gun after the flintlock pistol?
The flintlock pistol?
Yeah, what came after that?
Cap and ball?
Percussion cap pistol.
Percussion cap pistol.
Yeah.
I'm no shit, dude. I'm looking at a timeline in my mind, like, how far does he want to go? Like,
but yeah, after the MG42, the gun that was used to put down P. Garvey, like I wish I really could, was the percussion cap pistol.
that was funny. That just like
flintlock pistol.
again, just using P. Garvey. It's like they remembered people bitching about it, and they were like, check this shit out.
Check this shit out, guys. You can actually put down P. Garvey. The M2 machine gun, the Ma Deuce.
The 50 cal.
Yeah, it made an appearance. It looked like.
I wonder if that would probably be a power armor weapon, because you couldn't hold that in your hands. You couldn't do it.
Oh god, no.
You could barely hold an MG42. And
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that because I'm weak. I'm saying that like it was a crew weapon for a reason.
Yeah. That fucker was heavy, dude. And then there's possibility of an old 1860s Gatling gun. I think they hinted at that, or at least that's what everybody's rumoring one of the power armor guns to be, is an old 1860 Gatling gun.
That'd be funny.
Which would be cool as shit.
To be fair, if the broadsider is going to be a weapon, which by the way, in my replay of Fallout 4, I just got that weapon again from Ironsides.
It's so much fun.
That's so funny. So,
And then lastly, there was when they were getting attacked by other ghouls, you could actually see some of the feral ghouls holding butcher knives
they
and melee weapons.
they talked about that in an interview. So, if you watch the documentary, which again, I know I'm talking about the documentary a lot, but it really struck with me because it just showed me that they actually
we're nutting. We are nutting hard over this documentary.
It's a completely crowdfunded documentary, which you should like in its own right. They don't do this, you know what I mean? It's for people who want it.
Well, I guess there are raiders, but the raiders would technically be other players.
True, but the NPC-controlled raider system, I guess now, is a group called the Scorched. And the Scorched are ghouls that are feral, but they're not quite feral. Like, they're still a little bit sentient in a way, in that way. And they can wield guns and stuff. And that's the raider system, is this group called the Scorched, which are just extremely close to feral ghouls. So that's probably
cool
what we saw, yeah. Getting off the Fallout 4 nut train, if we're okay with that.
Stop nutting over that. But...
A very funny thing happened this week. It might happen a little bit earlier in the week or late last week, but PC Gamer reported on this. I want to cite them because I went there today because I saw the story on Reddit. A Rockstar employee on their LinkedIn page, which, by the way, LinkedIn, great service. You should use it sometime if you're looking for a job. LinkedIn, on their LinkedIn account, listed under their games developed Red Dead Redemption 2, PS3/Xbox/PC. And currently, on the Red Dead site, there is only the console versions. There is no PC version. Shortly after it was discovered, which, by the way, people dig deep when they're looking for rumors.
Yeah.
Shortly after it was discovered, it was deleted and it was taken off. So now all it shows is Xbox and PS3. It means nothing. Every Rockstar game has at some point eventually come to PC. GTA 4 did. All the GTAs did, if we're honest. GTA 5 did. LA Noire. All right. So like I said, it means nothing. It's not a very important thing. I think we all knew it would come to PC eventually, but it shows that it is a developed thing, or at least he thought it was funny to put on his resume. One or the other. I just thought that was a really funny thing.
He got a good chuckle out of fucking trolling all of us.
The other news that I saw was, and that you pointed out to me, was the new PUBG map, which name is
Sanhok.
Sanhok, which is...
If I pronounce that wrong, fucking
I believe it's in Thailand. It's based in Thailand, where Myanmar, or Miramar, was based in kind of... You could say either the flatlands of Spain or in Mexico, one or the other. Doesn't really matter. But it's based in certain areas, just like Erangel is based in eastern Russia. To put it into perspective, it's the smallest map for PUBG yet. The original map was 36 kilometers square of land area. I'm not going to count the water because you didn't go fight in the water. Miramar was 64 kilometers square. It was near double the size of the original map. Much to the chagrin of a lot of players, because it was in many ways already hard enough to find some fights and to force an ending in the original map, and then in Miramar it was near impossible. It became a sniper's game, which if you're a sniper, that's great. If you're most other people, it's not that great. The new map is 16 square kilometers. It is less than half of the original map in size in square kilometers. And from what I've seen, it is much more fast-paced and honestly much more fun-looking than the original one is. It is, you are going to land, you're going to be in a fight, and the fight's not going to stop. So, I think that's pretty cool.
I will say there's a downside to it. It's not like the other maps.
Well, it's much more. Is it more?
No. When I say it's not like the other maps, there's an event pass. There's DLC. You have to buy the map. It looks like. And
oh yeah, you're right. I think it's $9.99 for the event pass.
I'm on the Steam store right now looking at it. So.
No,
damn you, Bluehole!
To be fair, $9.99 is not a bad price to pay for that map. I mean, DLC that's only given you one map has been much more expensive in the past on games. I'm not just defending Bluehole because I like that game, but I think that could go away. I wonder if that's just for the launch, people who want to play it right now, and then later on it won't be as bad. That was
that was it as far as gaming news.
That was pretty much it this week for gaming news. It wasn't a slow week, but it wasn't a fast week either. I think a lot of stuff is happening. Oh, we did discover today, and this may be the truth, it may not be. I don't know if they're going to ship any more of the Power Armor editions, but I was telling you, Mac, today when we were texting earlier, the appearance on Amazon from a lot of comments I saw there of questions being answered was they were gone within the first night of announcement, so from the E3 launch night on that Sunday night.
Yep.
They were gone by lunch of the next day. They were very expensive. They're I think they were close to $200, or they were $200 on the nose.
They were $200.
Which I mean, I can't say I was willing to pay that amount because it's a lot of money. It really is. I always thought the Tricentennial Edition, which I still plan to get. I plan to pre-order that actually either tonight or tomorrow. The Tricentennial Edition looks great. It doesn't have the helmet, but it looks like it had everything else other than the helmet, so it's not a big deal. But that's the nature of collectible items. Like, I mean, how many people do you think are kicking themselves because they use their Babe Ruth baseball card to make their bike sound like a motorcycle when they were a kid? You know what I mean? Or their Mickey Mantle rookie card. You know what I mean? That kind of shit.
I had this Babe Ruth card, man. And my great-great-grandfather, he stuck it in the spokes of his tires. It sounded really cool, but fuck if they only kept it in mint condition.
Man, people say their Bugattis are expensive. My granddad had a bicycle worth $20 million. It was only worth $20 million for the first lap, but that was a hell of a lap, I'll tell you, boys. All right, so I think that's going to just about wrap it up for this episode.
Well, there's a Steam sale we can talk about.
There is the Steam summer sale. That's how I bought Fallout 4. I had it on the Xbox One originally, but because this game is obviously coming out on PC and it's multiplayer, and I don't want to pay money for Xbox Live, I'm definitely going to be playing it on PC. If anyone in the server gets it on Xbox, Mac, I'm looking at you. I'm sorry, but I am going to get it on PC.
Was 76?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting it on PC. Now, whether or not my PC is going to work as well as it does,
it may be what forces you to upgrade your PC finally. You're gonna.
I'm saving up for it already. So.
Yeah. But definitely, I think that's going to be the highlight of the year for me is Fallout 76. I did find it interesting. There's been no further news on the Elder Scrolls 6. You can all put your dicks back in your pants for now, but
well, I think Elder Scrolls will be next year.
It's either going to be next fall or even the fall after that. Because to have only a title over a cinematic screen is not a lot to go on. It's like the Starfield thing. It's that's not a lot to go on for the fact of what they're planning on doing with it. So I would argue that it's going to be a year or 2 years, which is not a super long time to wait in gaming, especially for the level of games they're producing now. But I think with the 3 office system, I think they're going to have a definite advantage in the fact that they can divide and conquer. The Bethesda office, again, this is coming from the documentary. I'm not trying to plagiarize that documentary, but they gave a lot of information that you couldn't really get anywhere else because of the deal they worked with Bethesda to get that. And as someone who went to school for communication and film and video, I respect what they probably had to go through to be embedded there for that long. A big thing is that with 3 offices, they can all work on individual projects and not hold each other up or not be held up. Because I think it's easy to forget that Bethesda, for being a major like a AAA title producing company, is pretty much 150 people in its home office. Like, yep. It's not a lot of people building this stuff, which is fair because I think that helps you in the long run. You don't get 50 hands working on a small item. But I think it's also, in some ways, a disadvantage because you can't divvy up the work as much, so people can get bogged down at times.
Yeah.
But I still think they're going to make probably the best game of 2018. I think their E3 presser, having watched the highlights of others, I think Bethesda took home. I think Bethesda was the kings of E3 this year. I think Nintendo did a good job. I think Bethesda had much more to offer overall.
Yeah.
To announce that many games.
If anybody was going to rival Bethesda, it was going to be either Nintendo or maybe Microsoft, maybe Ubisoft, but definitely Nintendo was going to rival them.
I didn't think. I know I had a disagreement with someone on the server about Nintendo's. Bethesda did their normal thing, which is they put up the please stand by screen, which is now iconic to everyone who's ever played Fallout. They put up the please stand by screen on their Twitter account, which is always the sign of something wicked this way comes. Then that led.
Wicked is a good thing.
Wicked is a good thing here. It's wicked smart, dude.
Wicked smart.
But it led into, that was good because of Fallout 4. Dude, we were watching. Okay, random aside. My parents were watching this DIY network show yesterday. Don't ask why. It was Sunday, probably because there's nothing on and there's no hockey right now. But there was this DIY network thing, and they were building a home in Maine. But the crew he put together was all Massachusetts dudes. So this one guy's like, "I'm building a wall, man. I'm building a wall, dude. Just let it go, dude. I'm building a wall." And I was like, "That's some Massachusetts boys building that."
Massachusetts boys building that.
But I definitely think that there was the idea that Nintendo's presser was bigger. I think Nintendo played it the right way, sticking with their own series just like Bethesda did. But I think with Bethesda branching out to new games and new ideas in their series, I think they innovated more, and I think they showed more skill overall than Nintendo did for this E3 presser.
Yep.
Now, to be fair, Nintendo also was at a disadvantage. The Switch was a much bigger deal. Like, the Switch was a huge bomb that's probably still sending shockwaves. But I think overall, I think the more important thing is what Bethesda brought. So I think that's actually going to do it now that we've finally gotten that out of our system.
Yeah, we're gonna stop ranting. We're gonna stop raving. We're gonna stop nutting.
We're gonna let you go about your week here on this lovely Wednesday, wherever you are in this world, because we may be recording this on a Monday, but you are watching this on a Wednesday because that's how I do my editing. I could honestly, if we're being fair, I could edit this tonight and get it up, but I also work a full day, so.
And you want to play games.
And I want to play games. Fuck you guys. You want to play games? So do I. We're fans of the same shit. Come on, dude. Come on. But trying to get
build the fucking wall.
I'm trying to get Fred to watch. But I'm trying to get Fred to watch. All right. So we're going to end this episode here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hell If I Know podcast, the HiiK podcast. Enjoy the new artwork. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you know when we're posting new videos. Make sure you tell your friends about it and share it with all your friends because it's a good podcast because we keep it short, we keep it straight to the point, except when we go on DIY network rants, but that's beside the point. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you guys come back next time. And as always, have a good week.